Hello, my name is Chris Palmer, and in today's video, I want to discuss off-page SEO and a 60-day off-page SEO strategy that you can follow for your website. So I want to discuss a step-by-step, really a week-by-week for 60 days, 8 weeks, what you could and what you should do. Let's go ahead and get into this. And first and foremost, what we really want to start with is, and what we're talking about is the initial launch and the initial setup of our website. So let's first and foremost, so the very first thing, and before everything else, obviously, is you need to take care of your on page. There is no off page without on page. So your on page, your design, your speed, all of the implementations of your on page and technical need to be spot on before even fathoming your off page SEO strategy. So I want to make that 100% clear. But let's just consider and say that our on page and our technical aspects of our SEO campaign have been fully allocated and we have already implemented this into our strategy. So let's move into week number 1. So week number 1, we'll call this week 1, all right? So week number 1, really what we are doing here is we are launching our website, all right? That's everything. That's our on page. That's all of our plans. It's a launch. We have our initial content, our money content, our site is up, everything has been checked. So the very first step after our launch is we need to set up our social entities. Now, social entities are so important, and let me tell you why. Social properties are not only important for solidifying the authority and basically screaming to Google that we have a real entity, a real business, a real person. But this is also going to come in handy for syndicating out content, which will furthermore bring in traffic, further solidifying our authority. But also, when you have a syndication network that you have created of social properties, it's also then a lot easier to start indexing other backlinks. So a social property is so important, or I should say social properties. Social presence and social activity will justify our links along with bringing in traffic, and it will help with our indexation of backlinks. So social profiles are great for building up your authority, and it's also a must-have for your off-page SEO strategy for 2020. So after we have done our launch, we have built out our social profiles, and along with that, all of our money content, our site is up to speed. All of that is taken care of. Remember, there is no off page without an on page and technical plan in place first. So let's move to week number 2. And as I'm going through here, I really want to touch on something. So we're going to touch on week number 2. So week number 2, this is where we want to start sending our initial links. This is where we want to start putting our feet in the sand, for lack of better words. So week number 2, what we're going to do is we're going to send links, okay? Now, when I say send links to our social profiles. And why is this? Because real entities will acquire backlinks on their social profiles, and we want them to be indexed and recognized by Google immediately. So we want to send links to our social profiles. So Chris, what type of links would you send to a social profile? We don't want to spend rental money on a social profile. We don't want to send high-powered PBNs to our social profile, or do we? So really, I want to touch on this here. So we want to really put our feet in the sand with our social entities. So we want to send links to our social profiles, and you could do this a couple ways. Now, I would do, and these are the two pieces of the puzzle that I want to put into place. So there's one called niche edits, which you can send to the profile, right? Or you can send a link insertion. This is where you'll do a manual outreach, or you could pay someone to do a manual outreach on a page that is already existing and already has acquired backlinks, possibly acquiring traffic. So these are the two that I would do, that I would send, because they're a higher quality, they're a little bit cheaper. And do not send, if this is your main money project, you should not be building out your SE nukes or your GSAs to these entities at first, never to the website. But if you want to start building out other tiers and power those up with your link building tools, then that could be potentially okay, but it needs to be done in a very safe manner. So let's just stay on track here. We're going to move right into our building our niche edits, or we could do our link, okay, our link insertions. All right, so that's our link insertion or our niche edits going to our social properties. Now, this is going to really put our feet in the sand, like I mentioned. It's also going to get those indexed. It's going to just scream to Google that we are a real entity, a real brand, or a real person. Now, after this, along with that, in week number 2, and this is very important, taking care of our social profiles and creating our social network for indexation and also syndication, we need to start putting out, this is all in week number 2, this is going to be our citations. Now, I get this a lot. Citations can be built by the hundreds. As many as you feel that you can build, all right, then I would put these out. If you can build out 1,000 citations, which would be relatively difficult, by all means, please go ahead, because companies could have employees. Companies could outsource. Building out citations, building out a digital reference online in mass is something that a lot of companies do. So in week number 2, we want to go ahead and push out links to our social profiles. You can use either link insertions for this, right? That's a backlink on an established page, or you could go ahead and use a niche edit. Now, along with that, we're going to go ahead and build out our citation. So we're moving into week number 3, and week number 3 is where we start building out some of our links to our money site. So what we want to go ahead and do here is, on our money site, we want to send 1 to 2 links. Now, our first 1 to 2 links going to our money site need to be of the highest quality. So this is where you want to send in your best quality PBN rentals. You want to send in your best guest post. You want to anything that you could get that is of the best, most relevant content, the best link that you could possibly get, the 1 or 2 links. This is the first 2 links that you need to build directly to the money site, to the home page. So that's going to be to the money site. So I'll just put this, that's 1 to 2 links. Now, and that brings me to something that I wanted to mention, which comes up. I hear a lot of people building hundreds of links to their website. Please stop. I have given the equation, all right, and I'll go ahead and I'll break this down again. If you have a competitor, okay, that has, we're going to say, just to make it easy, 200 referring domains, you need to go ahead and figure out how many links can I build on a weekly basis and keep that velocity up and make sure that they're high quality. So if they have 200 links that need to be beat and they're equal quality, right? You're going to average that out. How many links can I build on a weekly basis? And divide that by the 52 weeks or the 6 months, whatever your plan is that you're going to implement. So that's how you figure out how long it's going to take to beat them and how many links you need to build on a weekly basis. But for this particular example, we're doing 1 to 2 to the money site. If for your instance, you're in a harder niche, you need to build 2 to 3, then build 2 to 3. But whatever the velocity is of your link building campaign, you need to keep that velocity up. You need to stay relevant in the eyes of Google. So that's going to be 1 to 2 links to the money site. Those could be your higher quality PBNs. Remember, this is a money site, so high quality niche edits or link insertions. So the very next step here is we need to build out our second tier. Our second tier to what is our social links that we've already built over here. So for your third week, we're building out our tier 2. All right, so we're going to put T2 social links. So that means if you have built out over here in week 1, you build out your social profiles, and then in week 2, you sent links to those profiles. Now, the links that you sent to those profiles, you need to send links to those. This is going to be your next tier. Now, these could be of lower quality, all right? These could be of lower quality PBNs. These could be more niche edits. This could be more link insertions. But I want you to keep this in mind when building links for your off-page SEO strategy or technique for 2020. Whatever you do, if you're doing Black Hat, if you plan on selling your website or renting your website or having someone acquire your website, at some time, if you're doing Black Hat or you're paying for rentals, you're going to need to strip those links away after you acquire rankings, because you don't want to continuously pay for rentals or PBNs or whatever the case may be. So it's almost best when linking and link building for 2020, depending on your niche. Some niches you may need to use PBNs or rentals, and it's a necessity because your competition is using them. But in most cases, it hurts my heart to say this, it may be better to go the white hat route. Now, I know buying links is not considered white hat, but when we're looking at links, buying a guest post on a reputable blog would be considered white hat if it's not advertised that they sell. A lot of times when you're doing outreach, you're going to find that if you message 10 people and let's just say you get 10 responses, which you probably won't, I would say 8 of them are going to ask for money of some sort or some type of trade for that link. So I want you to keep that in mind. So it might be best for 2020 to keep it white hat unless you have no other choice. So I just wanted to cover that, all right? I'm trying to give as much information that I possibly can. But so we're on week 3 here. We are building out our second tier to our social entities. So we've also built out 1 to 2 links to our money site. So we really need to move into week number 4. Now, week number 4 is where things start getting a little bit more fun. In week 4, we're sticking with the same, whatever your velocity is. So we're going to do 1 to 2 links, okay? Not 20, not 30, not 50, not 100, not 1,000 links, not GSA links, not SE nuke links, but 1 to 2 high quality links. They could be link insertions, guest posts, they could be niche edits, something that is of high quality and relevance to your brand or business. All right, not tons of links. That's audacious. So we're going to do 1 to 2 links of very high quality directly to the money site, or we could do 1 to 2 links to a piece of our ranking content, whatever our main, if you're building a power page, whatever you want to call it, a main piece of ranking content, you could build 1 to 2 links to that or directly to the money site, to the home page. So that's going to be 1 to 2 links to our ranking content or our money site. And then, of course, we need to start building out. This is going directly to our social entity. So what we want to do here is this is going to be to our tiered out links. Now, this is where you could maybe use automated or some type of tool, but the